Shakti, Adi Shakti, Adi Shakti, Namo Namo. Sarva Shakti, Sarva Shakti, Sarva Shakti, Namo Namo.
It was really inspiration of love. This is for us just a complete act of love. We really fell in love with Italy, and this was about 2001 when we really first started spending time there and just came to the conclusion we wanted to live there. And having lived with Yogi Bhajan for 35 years in Los Angeles, we very much wanted to create yoga community, that we really believe and love that concept. So for us, it was just a question of living in a place that we loved and creating the concept of community that we love based on his teachings, based on Kundalini Yoga. And then the education really began, because being an American, we had a very specific perspective of the world, and I think our biggest challenge was just adjusting to European culture, and then adjusting to Italian culture, but then more specifically adjusting to Italian country culture. And we learned a lot about Domani, and so patience, and we just wanted to create a community where people can come. They can practice the yoga. We offer courses. We just have people come at their own schedule, and like you said, some people come for months upon months. We've had people for 6 and 7 months. We've had other people for a week, other people for a day, other people for a week course. So we're very flexible.
And for us also, we started in community when we first started doing Kundalini Yoga, because one of the things that Yogi Bhajan always stressed and encouraged us to do was to live in community. He always said that first you live in individual consciousness, then group consciousness, and that takes you to universal consciousness. So we lived in ashrams, and then as some of us, as we got older, we had families, we had more income, we got our own houses, or we had an apartment that maybe we'd share or rent out a room. We lived near each other, but Sadhguru Singh and I really wanted to have a place where people could come and have that experience of community living and living as a yogi. Because you can go to a yoga class and you can do your yoga at home, but to even have an experience, and even a week or a day or 6 months or a year, to live immersed in your life as a yogi, everything from how you eat, how you get up in the morning, when you get up in the morning, living with other people who are in that same consciousness and love of the yoga life, gives anyone who comes a chance to have that same experience. And one of the very beautiful things about group living, and the challenges of group living, is that you're always rubbing against each other. So it rubs off all your rough edges, or hopefully your rough edges. And you're challenged, and yet it's also very beautiful and very powerful. And it changes you in a good way. Whether you come for a day or you come for a long time, there's something that shifts in you because you've had the experience of living and knowing what it's like, what it feels like to live in yoga community.
Sarva Shakti, Sarva Shakti, Sarva Shakti.
But it's also yoga with good gelato, cappuccino. So it's a little Italian style too, yeah? And because some people come, they want the real deep yoga immersion. We do a green week, it's a real limited diet. But other people come, they are looking for a little gelato. They want some pasta, they want some
eggplant parmesan,
cafe, or they want some cappuccino. So that you can have too. So it's comfort, it's fun, it's yoga, it's beautiful. We're in the forests, in the hills. You can have everything there. It's just awesome.
For people who are wondering how they might do this, or a lot of people have come to us and said that they're inspired by what we've done, and we're happy that we've inspired people to that. We always let people know that there are a lot of challenges when you do something like this, and a big piece of advice is to really commit to it, because if you think you're going to try it for a year and then if it doesn't work you're going to leave, you'll only be there for a year, because it takes a long time. I think even in your own culture it takes a long time. Those of you who teach know that when you teach, and you start a class, it can take a year or more to really build a class to where you're happy of the size of the class and you're reaching enough people, etc. And we've been in Italy now 4 years, and every year we feel like we've crossed another boundary in our evolution in this beautiful place. And you should be sure that you have a way to earn a living, or that you have enough resources to keep you going while you're building up your resources at your new location. Learn the language if you're going to a foreign culture, and if you can't learn it before you go, learn it when you're there. Be absolutely committed to taking a class in a foreign language. Speak it as much as you can.
And one thing that we do a lot of work exchange with people of all different ages. The people will come and they'll do certain work in exchange for staying, in exchange for instruction. And it's just really wonderful. Everybody wants to help in some way. And you just need to share that. You just need to communicate that. And every time we find that we do, it's amazing the resources that come and the help that we receive. And it's not just us that's doing this project. And that's always also a wonderful affirmation, that you really experience the universe does support us. And when we take away all of our local comforts or our cultural identities or the things that we're used to, and suddenly we're in a new environment, and then you get that assistance that you never expected, it's just, wow, God does really provide. And that for us has probably been the most beautiful lesson in this whole adventure. And it continues. And again, it's just a wonderful, loving experience. And we wanted to provide a place where people could come and rest and relax and restore with yoga. And as Sadasakar said, over time there were fewer and fewer ashrams where people could actually live. There were fewer and fewer residential places where people could live. And for us it was just a passion to provide the opportunity for that experience, something that we experienced so deeply in the 1970s, but it's difficult to find now. And so we offer that. And we really want to share that because it was, for us, very fundamental in our own personal practice. And I find that it's something that really deepens people's practice when they can do it in a lifestyle environment with other people of like mind.
Love everybody who comes, and keep up.
Just come. Just come. Come, experience, share. If you want to work, if you want to do work exchange, if you just want to come as a student, if you want to come as a teacher, if you just want to come to relax, doesn't matter. Just come. Just come.
Shakti